Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Basic Entertainment, and welcome again to another series of live spoiler talk. Of course, weekly, every Mondays. Today, we have the Falcon Winter Soldier to start off this series. If you're new to the channel here at Basic Entertainment, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, as that does help out the streams and the channel going forward. And of course, comment down below, comment in the live chat. What's your thoughts on this episode? But I got to get into my special guest for this series. Of course, I'm bringing in Luke Reviews for our special guest of the week. Luke Reviews, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Of course. And then also to my co-hosts, of course, will be running with me for this show and every other Marvel show. ShamoonReacts. Shamoon, what's going on?
What's up, my man? I'm good. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I think we have a lot of things to talk about, some good stuff to talk about here. But let's get into one of our live comments, and that's AJ Reacts. Shout out to AJ. AJ has to say, I haven't watched the episode yet, but I've heard pretty good things. By the way, hello there. Oh, of course, everyone knows the rules.
Hello there.
So hello there to you, AJ. So, of course, live spoiler talk. We get into our recap section, and we're gonna recap it. Episode 1, New World Order. Luke, take it away.
Okay, so the episode starts off. Sam is ironing his shirt, which is obviously not to Iron Man. He's coming back. Then he goes on a mission to get some guy before he crosses over to Libyan airspace. It all goes well. He gets him out. There's a cool action sequence. They're all paragliding and stuff. It's a very much more action heavy opening than WandaVision was. And then they're having food, and this guy comes along. He's like, "Hey, Falcon, you saved my wife. Thank you very much." And then there's a scene where Falcon is giving up the shield to the museum, as he does not wish to take up the mantle because only Steve could take that role. And there's the shield in the box. And then him and Rhodey actually go to the Captain America's exhibit to talk about how great Steve was. They look at his bike with the old shield on it. They continue to talk a little bit more. They're still talking. I'm just going off the pictures here. There's a lot of propaganda posters of Captain America. They are looking at the posters, looking at the shield and the original suit. And now Bucky's having a dream where he's the Winter Soldier and he is somewhere and he's carrying out a mission where he's killing Robert De Niro, apparently. And then he wakes up and he's sleeping on the floor, and then he's at the therapy session with the therapist. Oh, that was a very quick therapy session. And he's walking, and then he's in the restaurant eating sushi with his old, I'm guessing that's old war friend or something. And then the scene ends, and then Sam is with his nephews and his sister, and they're arguing about the boat. Whether they should sell it or not. And then this guy's in Switzerland, and in German it says run, because he's investigating this flag smasher convention. Oh, and the scene is over. And Falcon and his sister are applying for a loan, and now there's a new Captain America. Wow, that was a quick jump, I must say. And there's a new Captain America, and he looks like a bit of a dickhead.
Oh god, everyone hates him already. He hasn't even spoken a word, and people are like, "I hate this guy." Like,
I gotta say, before we get into this, I think that was the best recap section of all time. Luke, shout out to Luke with the recap.
You just went off the images.
I really enjoyed doing that.
But yeah, guys, let's get into this show. I think I want to get everyone's brief thoughts. So we're gonna go to Shamoon, and then we're gonna go to Luke. Brief thoughts going into the show, and kind of like, what was your expectations? Have you set your expectations high, or are you kind of taming them down of something we previously got?
So obviously with WandaVision, we learned that not everything you're going to theorize is going to happen. I mean, it's totally normal because we were coming back into seeing MCU content. So obviously me and you were like throwing out a lot of new ideas. It's just really got us excited, man. And I think it's not wrong to theorize. It's like it's totally normal, like I said. But of course, your expectations. This is just the start of Phase 4. You've got to kind of chill,
Right.
and at the same time, you've got to just think what's realistic, what could actually happen. I think with this is more of the territory that we want in the MCU in Phase 4, and that's why I think expectations are a little bit different from WandaVision. From WandaVision, it started off, this is very different. All right, low expectations.
Right.
Then by the mid-season, you're kind of like, yeah, like this is getting great. It's getting better. But with Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's very different. It's Cap's my favorite Avenger. Like you said, he's your favorite. And like obviously, this is our territory. Like I said, so we're really looking forward to this storyline, and the story is has a lot of interesting elements. You know, like who's going to be the next Cap? There's so many candidates, and because I'm a big fan of Cap, this story is gonna gravitate to me more, and I'll understand things better than I did with WandaVision. But overall, like I'm still excited for the show, but I'm gonna take it episode by episode, not try and blow things out of proportion, because I think I would enjoy the show even more than I would anyway.
Luke?
Yeah, I think the ending of WandaVision set my expectations lower, and this kind of story, it's far more grounded than, say, just a random sitcom show. This is more Winter Soldier, Civil War type tone, much more MCU and familiar characters, and I enjoy these characters. They're the Captain America squad, should I call it. I think the first trailer, I really liked it, and as it got closer, I was only getting more excited, and then WandaVision ended, I'm like, okay, let's get the next one going. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I guess we'll talk about it more in a bit. Yeah.
So me going in, excited because I love the idea of having Falcon Winter Soldier. I feel like, when they had their time in those MCU movies, they were enjoyable. They were cool, but they never had depth to them. They never had those type of layers. You saw that they could have layers, and I think this show is really about that. But going into here, like the trailers were cool. I really liked the first trailer. The last trailer was cool. There was like there was like that one trailer, the Super Bowl trailer, that really turned me off for some reason, and I was kind of like, and that was the time where we're getting WandaVision, and WandaVision was kind of turning me off as well. So I was setting my expectations where I think I'm going to set my expectations for almost every property of movies, like kind of low, because if you come out low, it is great to set your expectations so low and then you come out so surprised, even if it's like mediocre. But this show right here is everything that I love about the MCU. It's that grounded, realistic tone, that Winter Soldier tone. Of course, one of my favorite MCU movies right there, the poster. And I just dig this. This is more of my playground right here. And I think so far with this episode 1, they're doing a great job. They're doing a great job with how these two characters see the world post Endgame. I think we always want to see how can these side characters can do without their mentors. You even got that with War Machine when he popped up. What's his adventure is going to be like after Iron Man, after Captain America. I think that's going to be great. But also too, you got to build a foundation of each of these characters. And I think so far with Falcon, I mean, they give him a lot. I titled this Superhumans. This is the most human-like content we're getting from the MCU. You know what I'm saying? They feel very human. They feel very vulnerable in this show, in this episode particularly. But Talking Cobra Kai in the chat. What's up, Talking Cobra Kai? So overall, what's your guys' kind of like thoughts on Sam and Bucky going into the show? Like they were, my take is that they were cool characters, but especially Bucky, there's no meat to him. You know what I'm saying? There could be some depth, some stuff to explore, but there wasn't much in those movies.
Right. I think with Bucky, you had like this badass Winter Soldier, and you're like, oh my god, like that was the peak of his character. But once like he woke up and he was just Bucky, obviously people are like, there's not much substance to him. It's just very simple. But I like the way where they're going with this storyline, because we really get to understand him and how he feels about what he's done in the last 90 years as Winter Soldier, and like, you know, trying to find a way of growing from that and moving forward. And then with Sam, we finally get a backstory on him. Like, we never really understood what he was going through with his family and all this kind of stuff. I feel like obviously things are more juicy though, because there's actually a story, like he wasn't there for 5 years, so his family have kind of been suffering, his sister especially, and I just like the fact we can finally see what he's doing other than worrying about what's going on currently, other than his family. Just to see the way these characters are, and to understand why Steve gave Sam the shield, not Bucky. And I like the way that we're seeing that, you know, he's a good man, and simply that's why he was given it. And the vulnerability of the characters, that's something we're really going into. And I love the introduction so far.
Luke?
Yeah, that's what these shows are for, right? Just expanding on these characters that haven't had their chance in the movies. Like Shamoon said, it's just going into their backstory. And now I really want to see what they do with Bucky post this whole Winter Soldier thing, how he's going to deal with that. You know, we saw in that therapy session that he's very closed off from everyone else. He's keeping to himself. Sam, of course, the full thing that he has a family, actually. We had no mention of that. And they brought up a good question. How do you get paid? Like, was he from Stark or? And I'm looking forward to seeing their dynamic, especially because we didn't get any of that yet.
Yeah, we got some of it, like a bits and pieces, especially like in Civil War, right? But I think main thing I'm taking away from this is like this post blip. I really like the blip. I really do like that. Kind of like the post, how the world was in 5 years, and we get these new villains called the Flag Smashers. This is a group of people who liked the world when it was blipped, when it was snapped, and they wanted to go back in a way. And I feel like so far I'm kind of interested in that. You know, I know me and Shamoon were talking about they're kind of like a new Hydra in a way, more lower down version, but they're kind of like superhumans or super soldiers. Of course, we still need to find out what they're about and stuff. So I'm interested in that. I'm also really liking the fact that Sam Wilson of course, he has a family, right? But they're playing into his dad and talking about, the ship, and he's caring about his legacy, his honor, and you talk about how why Captain America gave him the shield, because it wasn't a good friend or a good fighter. He was a good man at heart, and that's kind of relates to Steve Rogers, because Steve Rogers wasn't a great soldier when he started on First Avengers. He was a skinny little wimp, but he was a good man. He had a good heart, and that's the one thing that mattered the most. And I think that's kind of relating a lot to Sam Wilson. And I feel like, playing on with the whole mantle thing, I'm excited to see Falcon as the new Captain America, but I just hope not to take away from his character. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be like take away from Captain America or take away from, Falcon has to start acting like how Steve Rogers did. Like, I still want Falcon to still act like Falcon, if that makes sense. Be Captain America, but have that new flavor to it. Of course, with the wings and stuff like that. Maybe some different ideas, but they're kind of similar in a way. Bucky, I don't know where they could go with Bucky. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Because you talk about how that whole Winter Soldier was kind of his peak. I think that was his peak. I really think that was his peak. Of course, they're going to explore more of that. But what's his end goal after this show? Because this show is going to take, Sam to Captain America. Where does Bucky go from here? You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the most interesting thing about it. So, who you rather fight, Bucky or Falcon? Oh man, we're gonna start with Shamoon.
Well, it depends. Depends on the motivation and what they're fighting for.
Right.
And
I'm thinking on a one-on-one.
If we're just talking straight up, it doesn't mean much. Is this Falcon without his tech or with just?
No, it's got to be with, right?
Yeah. He was pretty brutal with that tech.
He can fly around and all that kind of stuff. And that first 5 minutes of the first episode,
right,
you can see the main things he can do with that suit. And also he can fight. He's a soldier, technically. So
yeah.
Bucky, you know, he's got a
I'm
freaking
running.
vibranium armor. You're gonna get on the end of that. That's gonna hurt, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's difficult. It depends on like certain things. I wouldn't want to fight either because obviously it's gonna be tough either way. But I guess like maybe I'd just say I'll go with Bucky. I don't know why. I just think it'd be
Wow.
more fun. I'm not trying to say I'd have a chance or anything, obviously, because
Right.
that's just dumb. But like, I think Bucky, in the sense, like, he's very skilled, but he's not the Winter Soldier anymore. So he's more vulnerable. Whereas Sam's kind of evolving more from
Okay.
who he already is. So it's like, yeah. But with the tech, like him flying around and stuff, like it's going to be difficult. Whereas he's going to be there, but I don't know. Bucky is a trained assassin. Yeah, he just got a point. But bro, are you gonna take Sam while he's flying around and stuff? Like, are you gonna grab him and stuff if he does that? He's gonna be harder to fight in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I know it's a bit of a difficult one. Either way, it's gonna be a tough fight. So what do you want?
I think I'm gonna go with Sam because I feel like Sam can knock me out, but I think Bucky will put me in a coma. If that makes any sense. Dude, if he punches you with that metal arm, you're done.
That's why I was thinking.
Like, realistically, realistically speaking, he's gonna smash your face in. You know, crush your whole face with that metal arm.
Wait, look what he did to the guy in the car. Like, I'm pretty sure he hit him with his vibranium arm. Or
yeah, but he's not even left-handed. Like,
yeah, Luke, who you're taking on the fight?
I don't, you know, I just went for Bucky because I thought it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't like the idea of getting clobbered in the head with a vibranium arm, so I'm gonna take Sam and try and break the tech or something, and then hope for the best. But
AJ,
I'm gonna improvise. I'm gonna improvise with Sam. Let's just say that.
I don't know. It's well, I'm not taking it seriously, but like I would say, if you were thinking realistically, how would you win? Like, you're not going to win either way. But I guess with Sam, it's a bit more because he's got more of that humanist type of thing. But yeah, Bucky was a trained assassin. He was Winter Soldier. He could still have that side to him, even if he doesn't have that control anymore of like being Hydra. So he might have seen all worn down and stuff because he's not Winter Soldier, but it doesn't mean he's not weaker technically, you know?
Yeah. But let's actually talk about that action scene we got in the beginning. That was a great action scene of it kind of reminded me of a lot of the Luminary Star scene in Winter Soldier, where it's like, you know, you show the kind of like the skills of Steve Rogers in combat, and you kind of saw the skills of Sam Wilson in combat. He likes to fly, he likes to grab people. They're around his tech. He has like more Stark, kind of like Stark-like tech now. It seems like. I'm kind of interested in seeing how I don't think they will kind of like how he made that tech or how did he advance his tech. But that scene was great, and we got Backtrack the Leaper. Backtrack the Leaper comes back, and it was kind of like it was cool to see him. Don't know why. What is he doing? What's their intended goal? You know, really. But it was cool, and it really told me like open action scene. This is not a Disney Plus show. This looks like a movie.
Well, they did say, like you said,
film.
It was a 6-hour movie, so like that. Yeah. I mean, I love that the way they started off. So much better than WandaVision at the start. Like, you just knew something great was going to happen at the start, and like that, the way Falcon, like the way Sam was fighting, I thought of that exact scene, and then compared that to Bucky, like when Bucky's not Winter Soldier, like Sam's gonna whoop your ass like that. Yeah, so, you know what I mean? Like that scene is such a way of showing like when he gets the shield and when he's fighting, this is the type of style we'll see. It's gonna be super cool to see more of Sam and the way he fights, because that scene was dope. And yeah, I mean, with Batroc, it was like it's good to see him again, because I didn't know we were going to see him first episode. I thought we might see him halfway
later on. Yeah.
I like the fact we just saw him like straight up in the first like few minutes.
Yeah, right away we saw him, and he got kind of like a little reference from Winter Soldier. Luke, what's your thoughts on the opening? Not even like the opening scene, like the opening scene before that, we got like, you know, Sam with the shield, and you got some end game dialogue. It kind of hooked you, kind of drove you in. Like, what is Sam gonna do with the shield, you know? And then you of course got the fight scene, and then he goes back.
That was the big question, like we always thought after Endgame, but they answered that pretty quickly. What he was going to do with it.
Yeah, Luke.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. you know, who's not gonna say no to Falcon flying around action? And
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it brutal, but you know, it's fun to watch. It's very. It doesn't stay the same all the way through. He does different things with the suit. He flies through the helicopter just like that, or plane,
Yeah.
whatever. It evolves as all great action sequences do, and you know, there's the timer, of course, before they get to Libyan airspace. And
Right.
was there a score? I don't think there was a score. I think
I think there
added-
was. Yeah.
Either way, it was really well made scene. It was like like something to hook you in. Like,
Yeah. And the cinematography was kind of great too. I really like the colors. They were how to use Falcon as like this majestic bird flying in the sky, you know, and then you got the sun behind him. It looked great. And then Red Wing was putting in some work too. Red Wing took down a whole helicopter by himself. So,
bro, Red
thought that
Wing
was
has
pretty
got
cool.
a mad upgrade.
Dude, Red Wing is. If we're talking about Sam or Bucky, I don't want to fight Red Wing. He's gonna come right behind you.
Not gonna lie,
I'll take you out.
You don't want to fight either of them. Like it's in a way, it's a dumb question, AJ, because like none of us are gonna fight either.
I'll fight Unique, the guy who put the trash in the wrong.
Oh yeah, I'll fight Unique or Torres because we get
Torres.
Like Torres, I can already tell he's gonna be kind of like the new Norm or new Herb, like the kind of like the, or maybe a new Jimmy Woo. You know, I think a lot of people are gonna like Torres.
He got nothing on Jimmy Woo.
In the comics, Torres becomes Falcon, so like he's got that. He's got that sidekicky thing, and then he becomes that. Jimmy Woo though, man, nah, he's OP, bro. Can't stop the Woo.
I don't know. I got a hot take on Woo. I'm not. I wasn't a.
You don't like Woo?
His first appearance was cool, but later on, I got kind of annoyed of Woo and Darcy. But so, not speaking about not to touch on WandaVision. What's it called? Torres, he has like the side quest, you know, finding out the Flag Smashers, kind of like it's in this, find out on the internet. So he's going on this little side quest of finding out more about them, and then you get one of the Flag Smashers just annihilated Torres. Beat the crap out of him. And I was like, damn. And few moves. And I was kind of telling myself he should be dead. Like, dude was getting he went flying, and then he got back, stomped in the back, right? Got tossed down, and then stomped on the head, and then got punched in the face. So he really got smashed up pretty well. I think that whole Flag Smasher stuff so far is pretty cool because in that fight scene you saw that there are super soldiers, right? Oh, that's what we're thinking as super soldiers. Maybe they might be.
They have a version of the serum. They have to have something.
They do
on that level.
Everyone's got a serum these days. Like.
Right. So far,
and Sam still doesn't freaking have one.
So far, I think it's good. I think it's good so far. That kind of like this subplot. It kind of, because they're throwing in a bunch of plot lines in here because at the end of the show, I mean, you got the whole Falcon and the boat with his sister, right? Kind of more of like that's like an origin type of plot line, but you got like this Captain America plot line with like him giving up the shield, and then the government giving the shield to some other guy. You know, of course, John Walker, U.S. agent. So that has to make him feel some type of way about that. And of course, he probably is gonna it seems like he's probably gonna try to get back the shield. You know, Don Cheadle, War Machine, was talking about how you know, why are you doing this? You know, you should just take up the mantle, right? And he was kind of talking like, you know, Steve told me it just doesn't. He just doesn't feel right taking up that mantle. You know, he has to earn it. He feel like he hasn't earned it yet, and I really do like that aspect because you want to give, you know, these characters there's time to shine, and of course, you know, him taking up the mantle of Captain America is big. But I don't want it to be like, oh, yeah, he's a new Captain America. No, he's gonna earn it in this show. And I feel like that's where I'm gonna have the most respect and like love for the shows, that Falcon's really gonna come into his own throughout the show. You're right. The last episode is where he's gonna probably get the shield or actually have a Captain America like costume. And then you have and then you have Bucky. I don't know, man. So far, Bucky to me is not as interesting as Sam. Maybe because I can get with Sam because he, of course, he has a family. You see that, you know, I really like the whole family aspect of it. He's just a family guy, And then the whole thing with like him trying to get a loan, and then you see his sister, and you kind of feel for the sister's pain because she had to deal with 5 years. He didn't, and he's kind of like, I get kind of a thing where it's like they might not know how to react to the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like they might feel more comfortable in war because he got Bucky brought up this line where it's like, when I came back, I just fought again, right? He went back a war again. It was a nonstop grind. Now he's like just a normal guy, and how can he? How does he feel being a normal guy? Does he feel comfortable, or this war is just his home, right? But so far, what is the most interesting plot line for you guys so far, Shamoon?
Well,
We
I
still
feel
got
like
we still got Zemo coming.
Yeah. So, okay. So if we're talking the plot line as a whole, because it's obviously this Sam and Bucky, I'm as interested in both of their storylines because it's like Bucky's got similarities to Steve in a sense. Him being like really alone, like him living in an era he's not used to. He's very much like Steve in that sense. Then Sam's like the guy that could be the next Cap, and we finally see what's like why he's similar to Steve in the sense of him being a good man. Look how he's always trying to help his sister. He's very family oriented. He cares about them. And then of course, like with Zemo, I'm curious what his plan is because I think his whole goal I thought is to eradicate superheroes. He hated the Avengers after Sokovia. That's why he wanted to break them up in Civil War. He succeeded. That led to Thanos. Yada yada yada. And then like the fact that the Flag Smashers seem to be the main villains, I feel like he's going to be the actual influence, and I feel like that will be revealed soon. And I can't wait to see like them fight him again, and maybe Bucky finally face him because like this man was the one that really got Bucky brainwashed and everything. So it'll be cool to see like maybe he tries it and Bucky's like not going to happen, and just generally I'm looking forward to the villainy, and also US Agent. I'm really excited to see John Walker because he's essentially a brutal Captain America, and he's nothing like Steve. He's the complete polar opposite. So like he will kill even if it's not too necessary. He's just like straight up like a savage. So
right. Luke,
a lot to look forward to.
A lot to look forward to. Plot line. What is the most interesting so far to you?
So far, it's probably the John Walker thing, and I want to see how Sam and Bucky are gonna deal with that because we know that they're gonna get the shield. I want to know how they're gonna do it and what the repercussions of that is gonna be. Like, are they gonna be on the run? How that's gonna play into the other plots, and it seems like there's a lot of plot points aligning, and I hope it doesn't become overstuffed.
Yeah.
And there's only 5 more episodes, and I hope it doesn't rush through those plots.
Right.
But seeing how they deal with the shield, and then the dynamic that comes with that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with you. But I think that me kind of like playing more favor to Sam. Story. I still enjoy that Bucky storyline of him going back to those people that he murdered, maybe a loved one or something, and kind of like wanting to tell them, I'm the one who did it, because of course we got that nightmare scene of him as Winter Soldier killing, doing whatever Hydra wanted him to do and killing an innocent person that is someone that he knows. Kind of like want to say apologize, but he can't. That's very interesting to me, and it kind of brings you to like that dialogue in Civil War. Is like Iron Man told him, "Do you remember?" And he's like, "I remember all of them," and that's all of them. That's all those peoples right there that he killed or killed someone else. So that's pretty cool. But of course, the Sam Wilson U.S. agent is in there that he's kind of like he feels that's like that is really messed up, and I think they might bring some race into it too. Like they might play off the race card because they did give it to some white guy and he's black, so they might feel like, oh, is this a race thing? And I think Anthony says that it's gonna play into that race factor, which is cool because it's political. It's still playing in that political field, that realistic, grounded feel. So let's just hope they do it, good. I feel like so far, Marvel Studios nails it with this freaking ground realistic spy espionage thriller stuff. I don't know why they're just so good at it. Like for some odd reason, like I don't know,
But to
like
be
the
fair, that's
Russos,
where they thrive. Like,
they thrive on that. I think with that, I think they honestly also too. It just this tells me that Marvel they could go hard if they want because some of the shots in here look great. The color grading is great. The storyline is great. The character moments are great. The suits are cool. You know what I'm saying? They could go hard if they want. Sometimes I feel like we need to hold Marvel Studios more accountable with some of their stuff because I feel like they go in different directions. WandaVision, I'm not gonna trash on it comparing to this. It was trying to go in a different direction, but I feel like Marvel Studios, they get lazy sometimes with their storylines and their movies. Right here is like some good quality stuff right here.
I feel like it
Cinematic,
depends who's working on it. Like,
yeah,
I just think maybe the guys for WandaVision didn't really understand fully what the audience want and then what they wanted overall. So
right.
maybe that was like with Falcon Winter Soldier, it seems very clear on what they want to try and
More
achieve.
cohesive, yeah. It's
Right.
more cleaner too. Like I know this direction, this tone switching. I know what they're going for in this show, and I'm 100% because if a show doesn't know what they want, then why should I pay attention to it if they don't know what they want, right?
Yeah, think about it. Like, look at the start of WandaVision. We didn't get any backstory in Wanda, just these shows that meant nothing at the time, and then
Right.
we finally understood it by the end of the show. But if you'd had that context in the first place earlier into the show, you would have started to see more and understand Wanda. I know they want you to wait and see the other episodes, but they've already gone to Sam and Bucky's story. Like, that's good because we want to see what their backstory is about and what they're going through right now. And
Right.
then we get to the action, we get to the territory we like. I think the direction for this is already better from seeing one episode, but of course we've got to wait and see for the rest.
Yeah, so far it's pretty promising. This show it's slow, but you know what, man? I like my slow stuff. They're giving out some good character development here. Already great character development just in episode 1, so I cannot wait to see what they do more. Of course, Baron Zemo. I'm a little iffy on Zemo. I love Zemo. Don't get me wrong; he's one of my favorite MCU villains. But how can he come into play in this show? Right? Does he know about the Flag Smashers? Does he want to get rid of the Flag Smashers too? Interesting to see there, and I kind of feel the whole plot line of I need to give away. I need to get rid of all superheroes is kind of like a little cartoony to me in a way. I hope they can add some layers to that, and I think the guy who plays Zemo is a great actor. So I cannot wait to see. Don't get me wrong, but I just hope it doesn't get stuffy. Because it could get stuffy. It could get very kind of like mixed up a bit. But yeah, we know the end goal for I think Sam Wilson and Bucky. Luke, what's your thoughts on Zemo? Are you excited to see him?
I want to see how he factors into the plot, right? Is he working with the Flag Smashers? Is he completely on his own? How is Sharon Carter gonna fit into this?
Sharon Carter. Yeah.
Like,
how's what's it called? Elijah Bradley gonna come in, right? I don't know if you guys heard this, but the Patriot, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
America. So it's I mean it's there, and Feige I trust, but it could get stuffy if this is trying to be more of a focused show with 2 characters. But I think so far we're in for a treat. There isn't too much to talk about the episode because it's just episode 1. But I think we can talk about this blip stuff. Would you guys prefer this show to be our Phase 4 start because it does kind of dive into that blip. Talk more about blip, and of course the timeline it won't mix up because WandaVision is actually like 3 weeks, like 3 weeks after Endgame. So this is like 6 months after Endgame.
I think that's why, although like they were just kind of pushing WandaVision forward because they were way ahead at the time because they were going to release technically now, but then they pushed it forward to August. Then obviously got delayed. I think it worked with finding out it was only a few weeks after Endgame. Whereas Falcon Winter Soldier happens a few months, and I think it's isn't it before Far From Home? Or is it after Far From Home? Before, yeah. So that's that works well with that in that sense. So I mean, I feel like the thing is though, like you gotta link up well with the OG Avengers in their storylines, if that makes sense, like their legacies. Because after Endgame, you're like, yeah, what's gonna happen with those characters? Who's gonna have the mantle? Blah 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 blah. With Falcon and Winter Soldier, you're like, all right, I want to go and see straight away the storyline and how that entails. I feel like that's a good way of introducing it. And of course, this was originally supposed to come out first as the first Disney Plus show. But obviously got shifted around, and then Black Widow would have been the first movie. But we are here now, and it's slightly different. But I think it can affect viewing experience. Like WandaVision, maybe, yeah, was overly hyped because it was the first show. Like if it was a little bit later in, we may have not hyped it as much, and just kind of appreciated the way they made it different.
Right.
So, with that being said, though, with Falcon Winter Soldier, it can. I think they had already like prepared, like, yeah, this is going to be our first Disney Plus show. It's going to have a strong start, and clearly it has with the first episode. So it's it's kind of coming out now in that sense.
Yeah, Luke.
Yeah, it was meant to be Black Widow, this Eternals, and then WandaVision that heads straight into Doctor Strange too. So you can kind of tell that this was meant to be more the start than WandaVision, because after Endgame and Far From Home, I guess, maybe not that many people will be still watching the MCU. So you give them something more familiar like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then WandaVision later on. But yeah, I think would have served as a better start, but yeah, we're getting it now, so it's still good, I think.
Yeah, it's still the second project for Phase 4. But I was talking to Shamoon and Aho. I did like the fact that they went for a very different direction. Maybe after 23 movies, you want to go in a different direction for your first movie post Endgame, right? It kind of tells you that we're going, trying to be more creative, trying to be more unique. But that's WandaVision. This is Falcon and Winter Soldier, and of course, it was just 2 weeks after WandaVision. So. Yeah, man. Nothing too much to talk about this. Are you guys ready to get into our highlight moment of the episode?
Yeah.
Highlight moment of episode 1, starting with Luke.
Yeah, I'm gonna borrow what I think was the highlight a moment that was from my mom, because I watched it with her. She really enjoyed this moment when Bucky brought flowers on his date, so that he's a very old-fashioned guy.
Old soul.
I thought that was a nice touch, and that conversation.
That's a cool one. It's funny you said about watching your mum. I watched the second time watching it. I watched it with my mum earlier on as well, and just kind of thinking about it. I'd probably say just the moment Sam got at the start, because it very much felt like this is Captain America coming in, swooping in, doing this thing, and I love that, the sense of him being able to fight rather than being the sidekicky kind of character. For me, I think that was a highlight. It's just a really cool introduction in the way they did it. There's loads of great moments though. But probably just for thinking about it, I think that specifically, yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with damn, this is a tough one, because a lot of good, solid, heartfelt moments here.
Right.
I'm gonna
That's
have to
your
go.
favorite moment.
Nah. Damn. Probably Sam Wilson giving up the shield, because I did like that whole dialogue, how he's kind of talking about it, and then you want to extend it with Don Cheadle. It was great to see him back, but the whole museum was beautiful. Like the way how they shot that was great. The colors in here are so rich. Like they're kind of like grounded colors, if that makes sense. Like they're kind of like neon colors in here, and I think the color grading is great. But I think that moment of him giving up the shield and him talking about Captain America looking at him, on his left, right, was great. It was a good one. It was a good one. But yeah, that's episode 1. We're gonna get into our final grades for episode 1, starting out with Luke reviews. What's your first grade for the show?
I think if we're going by letters, I'm gonna give it an A-.
A- for Luke reviews. You pull that right up. Shamoon?
Honestly, I really like this episode. Not a lot of criticisms or things I didn't like, so I'm gonna give this a solid A.
Same thing goes for Shamoon. I think a little like nitpicks here and there, maybe like the Bucky and therapist was the dialogue and kind of like that whole scene of Bucky kind of like with the whole what was it like he was still Bucky stuff, but he was doing a more gentle way. I thought it was a little cheesy, but to me, and of course Torres getting his ass whooped and he's just okay. FaceTime me saying was a little cheesy, but that's a little nip. Doesn't affect anything of the plot so far. Digging this show gets you great character development, great storylines, and I think this show is going to be good on its own. It's not going to be like each episode is going to feel in more cohesive and more kind of like complete than like WandaVision. Like let's leave you with a cliffhanger. I think that's gonna be the last time I bring up that show. But Falcon Winter Soldier episode
No, it
1,
won't.
it probably won't. New World Order gets an A-. So that's my grade, and that's gonna be our show, man. Quick one here. So far, liking it, and I think we're gonna get some more stuff to talk about later on, but that's not a bad thing. Of course, we have our guest who popped in for this episode, Luke Reviews. Luke, where can good people find you?
People can find me at Look Reviews, mostly on YouTube now, as well as Instagram, but the focus is now on YouTube. Lots of videos coming.
That's great. All his links will be in the description below. Same thing goes for Shamoon. Shamoon, how are you doing?
I'm good. So you guys can find me at ShamoonReacts on YouTube, also at Instagram. And if you like Cobra Kai, I have a Cobra Kai channel called Cobra Kai Nation. You can check that out. It's on YouTube as well. And yeah, can't wait for the next one.
And of course, like I said, thank you for joining us. If you're new to the channel, Basic Entertainment, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video, like the stream, as that does help out the channel. And we will see you guys next time, next week, once again, here on Basic Entertainment for our weekly recap show. The Falcon Winter Soldier, of course, will bring back Luke. And Shamoon is my co-host, so he ain't going anywhere. But tomorrow, we're going to have a live spoiler talk of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Go ahead and subscribe, keep your notifications on, and stay along for this journey of Basic Entertainment. See you guys tomorrow. See you guys next time. We're out of here. Deuces.